Hey, my soul sisters. Do you ever wonder why you just can't seem to manifest that one thing that you really care about? Do you ever wonder why it seems like so many other people have it so freaking easy and you're just struggling to get things to line up? Do you ever wonder why, good gracious, you have such a huge heart and why people don't respect you? Well, today let's talk about that because I just got done earlier today with a training about the superhero or the supervillain, which part of us is in charge. And it woke something up inside of me that I've just got to share with you today. I mean, there's really only two energies in this world. I'm probably going to cry. I'm just going to warn you. There's two energies in this world. There's love or there's fear. Okay. That's it. Like everything else is just a manifestation of that. And fear is really just a desire for love, a desire for acceptance, for compassion. It's not the worst thing in the world. It just simply says, love me, please. I need to be loved and accepted right now. Okay. And so when we are living life happens, right? And when we're waking up, we start to see that, oh my gosh, my ego is in charge, or this small version of me is in charge, or my story, I'm being limited by my story. Oh my God, my story again. And you start to see how all of this correlates and how it comes together. And for me, I've been studying my story for freaking decades, right? Like I've been trying to get to know myself more and more and more. And it's in a process of unfolding and releasing. And, like the doing part is painful, but it's the undoing part that's really hard on us because we are so attached to who we've become or who we think we are. And we are limiting ourselves by holding on to those things, by holding on to who we think we are, what we think we're capable of, how much money we think we deserve, how deserving we are, how worthy we are of love, of good things, of whatever. And it's as we start to wake up, we realize, gosh, I'm the one that's been putting these limits on myself this whole time. I was blaming it on that person or that situation or that thing, but really I'm the one who chose to respond in that way. And it doesn't mean that you were wrong for doing it that way, but what it does mean is that you don't have to keep living in that same pattern over and over. That's the choice we have available to us every moment of every day. Do I want to do it the same way I've always done it, or do I want to expand into something new? And I think as we wake up, it's realizing, number one, that we have that choice, that we have this ability to say, all right, I know that this small human part of me is trying to keep me safe, that the supervillain, it's really just afraid. It's afraid of the unknown, and it's afraid that if I go in that same direction, which looks like something I did before, I'm probably going to get the same result. So let's just pull back and not do it. But that keeps you from experiencing the fullness of your life. That keeps you from experiencing the fullness of who you are, the magnificent being that you are, if you keep living in fear of the unknown. And so what do we do about it? Well, we have to recognize who's in charge, number one. And so recognizing who's in charge is like your small self, your human self, your ego self, the supervillain, all those things. Give it a name so that you can call it out. If it's coming out of any sort of fear, it is not your highest self. All right. Now, your supervillain, on the other hand, knows your truth, knows your greatness, knows that you are a limitless being of light and love and capacity. And oh my gosh, you're amazing. Right. That's what the superhero, the magician inside of you knows to be true, because that is your truth. And so when you are in an expansive state, that seems easy. That seems like, okay, simple, but not always easy. Let me just make that correction. It seems as if we get to decide, right? By knowing who's in charge, we can choose our vibration. We can choose who we are becoming. And that's the magic sauce of what's going on in reality today, is that as we wake up, we can see, oh man, yes, my old limited self showing up again. Okay, so I call that person the trickster, that part of me that wants to trick me into believing that I'm not enough. Because that's my pattern, is like, I've always felt like I'm not enough. I'm not enough for people to love and appreciate, to listen to. Like, I'm just not enough. That's my pattern, okay? And there's a part of me that says, honey, you are. You are absolutely enough right now, just as you are. Sure, you're going to keep learning and expanding, but right now, you're enough, right? Like, think about yourself as an infant, like the day that you were born. Think about your tiny little fingers and whatever kind of hair you had on your head, your wrinkly body. And just think about how worthy you were on that first day that you were born. Right? Like, you didn't have any skills. You didn't have long flowing hair or a mustache if you're a man, or what, like, you didn't have anything. You didn't have any job. You didn't have any conscious awareness of really what was going on, and yet you were worthy. You were so fucking worthy. Excuse my language. So what makes you different today than on that first day that you were born? What makes you any less valuable today than on that day you were born? A belief. It's just simply a belief that you're not. And beliefs are conditioned. And so if you're conditioning yourself by beating yourself up constantly and never feeling good enough and always feeling like you have to prove yourself and like never worthy, if you feel gross and hideous and like, if you feel those things, you're conditioning that belief that you're not worthy. But here's the magic, is that when you start to know your truth, when you start to know and love and appreciate your superhero, your divine self, my divine self, by the way, I just named her today. I renamed her because she was sweet self for a long time, but like, I'm more than just a sweet self. I'm a badass, like, powerful goddess being. So she is oh gosh, I just wrote it down today. Wealthy warrior goddess. That's who I am. That's my truth. Right? And so again, name that part of you that is your truth. You are divine. You are great. So focus on the things that you know to be true. Remember who you are. Remember how freaking great you are. Remember who it was that suffered and who it was that got through. And that's the big awakening that I had today. I've known my story for a long time, that I just literally didn't feel like I received the love that I needed. I was kind of a pawn in my family. Yes, they loved me, but it wasn't in a way that I needed. And that's no harm to, or that's no fault of their own. They didn't know how to love me. And so I'm not blaming anybody here, but I didn't receive the love and the acceptance of who I was fully. And so therefore, I dimmed my light. I hid and protected my greatest asset, which was my love. And I built walls like you can't believe around my heart to protect myself. But what it did was hide my love. And so from that place of fear, I just tried to prove myself worthy to everyone and everything. I was quite an audacious little kid. I was rambunctious. I mean, I wasn't out of control by any means, but I knew that my light was in there, and I could show up and make anybody smile, and I could be happy, and I could enjoy the present moment wherever I was, but I was always secretly trying to prove how worthy I was. And then I became a perfectionist in that pursuit of finding my worth out in the world from these people that I appreciated and loved, my family. And by becoming that perfectionist and that high achiever, I achieved a lot in my life. I have so many amazing skills because of this pattern of needing to prove myself. But needing to prove myself was always coming out of the supervillain, the trickster who said, you're not good enough and you're never going to be able to prove yourself good enough. So, I mean, you can just keep trying. Why not? And then my real self kicked in and said, don't do that. You don't need to do that. And I would pull back. before my greatest success arrived, because I didn't want to be known just for the things that I achieved. I didn't want to be loved for the things I could do. I wanted to just be loved and appreciated for being me. Oh, like that's the huge realization today, is that I've always pulled back right when I was at the cusp of being able to achieve amazing things. It was me holding myself back. It wasn't anything I was doing. It was fear of only being known for this little part of me, this persona of me. And I didn't want that. And I still don't want that. But right now, by being aware of this supervillain, oh my gosh, like this is the thing that's been holding me back for my whole life. I feel limitless. I feel like my heart is expanding again and again and again. I feel like possibilities that I know are endless are actually real. Oh my gosh, like being able to discover this part of you who has been holding you back, who has been secretly controlling you from the shadows. Discovering this aspect is one of the keys of releasing the fear and embracing the love, releasing the power that the supervillain, your small self, holds over you, and embracing the potency, the power, the real power that this divine love, this divine self, your highest self holds. Right? Like I don't even know what it is. It's so freaking amazing. But I needed to share this with you today because first of all, it's fresh. And second of all, this is so important. This work that we are doing to wake ourselves up, to embody our greatness, to let go of the old so that we can embrace our wholeness, not the new part of us, but the wholeness that's always been there. It's amazing. And every step of this journey is worthy. And every step of this journey takes you one step closer to who you really are and what you came here to do and to achieve and who you're here to influence. It is the most important work you can do. It's the most important project you can work on. You, your highest self, clearing out the junk and organizing yourself around your highest self, your wealthy warrior goddess self. She's waiting for you. She's absolutely waiting for you. And this is the work that I have done myself for many years, decades. And it's the work I get to teach other women right now. It is so valuable. It is more valuable than a new computer or organizing your kitchen, because those things are external. And this right here helps you own your power, own your greatness. And it helps you live the fullest life possible, so that when you do organize the kitchen and you do get the new computer, it's because it's aligned with who you're being, not because you're trying to prove your worth to anybody, not because you're trying to prove that, well, if my kitchen's organized, then I must be organized. If I have a new computer, then I must be able to manifest the dream job. You've got to condition this. But I have to also tell you and give you a warning that if you create or recognize this new version of you and you start to repeat mantras of I am great, I am the most important person on this planet right now for the work that I am doing, I am a wealthy warrior goddess, I am courageous, and I share love and healing everywhere I go. Like if you start putting those things into your mind, but you don't upgrade the operating system, you don't upgrade the subconscious mind and clear out what's going on in there, you can have the best new program ever, but if you don't upgrade the operating system, nothing will change. That is the secret. That's why you're not getting the results that you want, because you keep putting new things, chakra cleansing, you keep putting crystals or new affirmations or meditations on top of an operating system that is outdated. This is the time to upgrade your operating system and your new beliefs, right? Your programming and your operating system work in tandem. But the operating system is the one thing that will stop you in your tracks for making the impact and having the success and the life that you desire. Your heart is guiding you in the right direction. Those desires in your heart are there because you are ready for them. So let's upgrade this operating system so that you can upgrade the programming and create everything that your heart is telling you is right for you. Your dreams are just showing you the potential that's inside of you. So let's get you aligned with those dreams and allow yourself to expand and to love and to just set fear down. You don't need it anymore. This is the biggest lesson of the last year. You do not need fear anymore. Fear is everywhere. Oh my goodness. Don't you love how much fear everyone and everything seems to try and throw at us? Our school systems, our government, our media, it's everywhere. You don't need it. You absolutely don't need it. You can live an amazing freaking life without it. And yeah, it's going to creep in because you're human. And yeah, your old story is going to creep in because you're human. But when you can recognize who has just taken over, then you can also consciously choose to put your highest self back in charge, right? Like, oh, sweetheart, that's so cute, trickster. You're just afraid. I get it. So I'm here to love you. I'm here to appreciate that you're trying to do the same thing you've always done. And let's go ahead. I got this. I got this. You can go ahead and just rest in the back seat now. Right? Like, how amazing is it when you can move out of fear and frustration and anxiety and sadness and into love and expansion and acceptance and joy and abundance and peace. That's your true nature. So let's do this together. Let's do this together. This is amazing work, and I'm here to totally support you on your journey. I love you. I would love it if you just put a post, make a comment and say what resonated with you the most from this discussion, what fears have been holding you back, what something happened to you when you were a kid and like that's the thing that imprinted you the strongest. Let's bring that to the surface so that we can clear it, right? And just bringing it to the surface and putting it in words and writing it down is one of the best things that you can do to just start bringing that conscious awareness to when your trickster, your fear is in charge. You don't need it anymore, sister. You don't. All right. And if you're curious about this work, reach out to me, DM me, we can chat, we can do a breakthrough call. Those are free. And we really just dive into what is in the way and what are the consequences of that being in the way of you not living your highest self. It's time to get out of this burnout that we've put ourselves in and really own the greatness that we are. All right. If you want to schedule a breakthrough call, awesome. It's mindyarbuckle.com/talk. That's it. It's so easy. And I want you to know how worthy you really are. And even if you don't believe it right now, take my certainty, use it. But the certainty and the courage and the perseverance and the strength, it's already inside of you because you've gotten through everything you've been through. That's who we're calling forth as our superhero. All right. So much love to you. I will talk to you very soon.